funny technique in making arts, be it in literature or in other forms, is its approach to surrealism.
Surrealist deals with creating two worlds, portraying the actual world and distorting the image of the world existing only in the mind of the audience. This movement allows a new form of fascination for the audience who deeply understood the relations of the content of the art and permit a revolt against societal issues being applied sadly. One example of this movement is the Shinagawa monkey by Haruki Murakami.
Born on January 12, 1949 in Kyoto, Japan, Haruki Murakami developed his talent in writing stories, mostly because of the influence of his parents, who are both teachers of Japanese literatures. However, aside from displaying cultures and traditions of Japan and incorporating his story settings to places in his country, he much more dealt in applying Western cultures in his works. This characteristic of his is accentuated in his work, The Shinagawa Monkey, that is published in the year 2006.
This story is about Mizuki Ando, who bizarrely has a problem of forgetting her own name years after marrying Takashi Ando. Unafraid that her husband might think that she is unhappy with the marriage, she decided to attend to a consultation where she met a counselor, Tetsuko Sasaki.
She told the counselor her past, including how is she being a daughter, and her conversation with her schoolmate Yuko Matsunaka when the latter left her name tag to keep it away from the stealing monkey. She told Tetsuko that days after her conversation with Yuko, news came that Yuko slit her wrist somewhere in the woods. She tried to recover her and Yuko's name tags from her memory box to show it to Tetsuko, only to find out that it was missing. Days of her therapy and consultation with Tetsuko came when one day, Tetsuko announced that she already found out the reason why Mizuki is forgetting her own name. It is then revealed in the short story that the one to blame for her problem is a talking monkey who lived his life under the sewers of the city and had a bad habit of stealing name tags. The reason why Mizuki kept on forgetting her name is that because of the monkey who stole her name tag along with Yuko's, and with it, the monkey also stole some of her memories.
As a bewildered reader, one may ask about the relation of the bizarre monkey's existence in the story and the importance of the name tags. The name tags may be a common thing in reality, but its context in the story holds an idea for the fascination to be implied. Name tags hold names of its owner, and it is a common thought that our name is the reflection of who and what we are as a person, thus comprising the idea of our own identities.
The name tags being stolen constitutes to the idea that Mizuki's identity is being stolen by the monkey, which is her subconscious. Her identity being stolen led her problem of forgetting her own name and parts of her memories. She started to live a life in a new identity she made as a loving wife and a well-off daughter. Diving into the deeper meaning of the context, the talking monkey embodies the subconsciousness of any man. The monkey being able to talk is a surrealist deal of the author to express that the character isn't physically existing in the real world, but is something existing in everyone's mind.
In the story, the existence of the talking monkey tells us what caused Mizuki's problem of forgetting her own name. Her subconscious mind, or in the story, the monkey stole her identity from being conflicted by her past memory. One thing that the monkey wasn't able to do for Yuko, who, being aware of her subconscious mind, kept her memory away from being stolen. Hence, unlike her foil character Yuko, Mizuki's subconscious indulged some of her memories to keep her from the pain of reminiscing those.
Her existential crisis by being alienated by her own subconsciousness is what gave a heavy point in the story.
Unlike Yuko and the rest of the characters who were fully aware of the existence of the monkey, or who were fully aware of their own subconsciousness, Mizuki, on the other hand, doesn't recognize her own subconsciousness, thus finding the talking monkey bizarre. Her unconscious mind's self-defense to protect her from her past caused her of her memory.
Her being in denial, one that is agreed on upon contrasting her identity as what she told in the beginning of the story and as what the monkey revealed, made her mind to come up with a tall story that makes up her new identity. Identifying the culprit in the story is the act wherein Mizuki now finally recognized the existence of her subconsciousness. She is now fully aware of what her subconscious mind did and realized that the person makes up her identity from what she was in the past, and that despite of it being unpleasant, must be kept in order for her to keep her identity. The author also made use of the foil character element in Yuko to depict contrasting ideas as opposed to the character of the protagonist Mizuki. In the story, it is elaborated that Yuko, being an almost perfect girl, has been jealous over something, while Mizuki, being described as a common folk, is contented. Everything Yuko is, Mizuki isn't.
Deeply analyzing what is implied by the fact that Yuko is aware of her subconsciousness unlike Mizuki who isn't, we can say that Yuko is the character who chose to dwell and remember her identity and conflict as a person, while Mizuki chose to forget her dark past and live a life with a strange identity.
Also in the stories, the author's inclusion of environmental concerns, as he implied that the talking monkey, losing their natural home as trees being cut down, has lived its life in the sewers of the city.
These elements that gave point to the juxtapositions of ideas made this surreal story deserving of its popularity. As what surrealism allows, the author pronounced a revolt in his way of writing his stories. Knowing that he is a Japanese, his way of accentuating Western cultures in his Japanese settings is an expression of him wanting to break down what is traditional in writing and opens a new door of ideas for this kind of approach to take place.
This is The Shinagawa Monkey by Haruki Murakami, a story worth reading and is available to be read as a published book or as an online material.
You can search the story in the internet and collect your own realizations and understanding of the text. We will be happy to hear from you.